Good morning all, this is Diana. Today I'm going to kind of take you back to basics. This is for newbies and the ones that want to learn how to do applique on the machine. So I'm going to show you how to format your USB and how to put the design on your USB, how to put it back in your machine, and to set up a design for embroidery. So let's get started here. Okay, first of all, we need to format the USB. You take it to your machine and put it in the machine. Just plug it in like that. Excuse if I shake a little bit because it's kind of hard to do it and record at the same time. And you'll see it's going to bring this up. Just let it sit there for a minute, and when it goes away, that means it has been formatted. It takes a few minutes for that to happen. I had cleared this stick off so there wouldn't be anything on there. Okay, now it's formatted, and we just take it out. Take it to your computer and put it in your computer here and bring up a design. I have already brought up this little design. It is one that I have just digitized and I have not sewn it out, so you'll get to see how it's sewn out. So okay, we're going to save this to the USB. You will go to your file folder and save as. And I'm going to go to the computer, and this is my USB drive. It's called Lexar. Double click on that, and you're going to see there are two folders here. There's an ORD folder and EMB folder. This is the folder that you need to bring up in order to put your designs. You double click on it and it brings it up, then you click on it again. Make sure it's gone out of the screen and it's up here. Go down here. Now you can save the designs in a GIF format or a DST. I prefer a DST because I have been working with DST for several years, so I just always save them in a DS format and then just save it to your USB. My design program has extra steps that yours may not have, so bear with me for a second while I get it set up and get it put to the drive. Okay, now it has transferred to my USB stick, so I'm going to take it out of my computer and put it in my machine and let it read it. Okay. Go to menu, not the menu, your little folder button here. Click on that, then go over and hit your USB. Hit the folder, bring it up, and there's my design. You click on that, and it will bring it up. Okay, now this is where you put in your design. But first I'm going to show you what I'm going to be putting it on and how to do the next step. I'm going to put my design on just a piece of fabric here, and I'm going to use my Durkee hoop. A lot of you were asking about the new ones, asking about if you can use different hoops with the machine. Yes, you can. I use these all the time. And I have already got a piece of fabric hooped in here. These are my pieces of embroidery fabric. I have put Wonder Under. I like using Wonder Under on the back of them. It makes your fabric nice and crisp, and when you do an applique, there's a world of difference in how it looks. I have printed out my design, and this is it right here. And I'm going to place it in my hoop like this to make sure that it's going to fit my hoop. And I do this with everything that I'm going to applique. And I take a pin, and put it, these little crosshairs, this is the very center of my design. I place a pin right there and then pull it up and then just mark that center. This is how I center everything on anything that I'm going to applique on. A shirt, doesn't matter. This is where the center of my design is. That way I'll know it's going to clear this when I do a trace. Okay, now we put this on the machine. I also have printed out the design with each step. This is each step of my design and how I'm going to put it in my machine. It has 5 colors to it: red, white, blue, black, and a flesh color. You can see I have got my machine threaded with my black, white, red. I always keep the black and the white on my machine, and I usually keep them at the very end. Then I have my flesh, and this is going to be my 5th color. I put it behind the needle that I'm going to switch out. Okay, now in order to get your design into your machine, this is how you're going to load it. You've got it up, and the first one you're going to hit OK to activate it. And it's going to bring up your needles over here. My first one says black. I disregard all of those on there when you're doing a DST because you put in your own colors. My first one's going to be a tack down. So I always do my tack downs in a white color. So they're all going to be on needle 3. And where is my little... Okay. So I'm going to hit that, and that'll bring up my numbers of my needles. My first one's going to be a tack down. I hit 3, and I want this to stop so I can lay the fabric. Go down to the needle that has a little red on it and hit that, and it will highlight this one in red. That means it's going to stop after it sews. Go down to the next one. It's also the tack down. I'm just going to go 3, like that, all the way down. This has 12 stops in it, so I'm going to do that for the first 12. That has 4, so I'm going to change that to 3. 3 and a stop. 3 and a stop. 3, stop. 3, and it's already got the stop in it. 3, stop. 3, stop. 3, stop. Once you do applique, it's so much fun and it goes pretty fast. Okay, let's go back up here. Okay, now it starts the design, doing the stitching. This is my flesh color, and that is on needle 1. And then I'm going to go down. I'm not going to put a stop. The next one is red for her little socks, and that's on needle 2. Then it's going to be white, which is 3. It's already at 3. As you can see down here, this is going to be needle 4. After 4 needles, it's going to automatically put a excuse me, a stop in there. Well, we don't need that stop, so we'll just hit this red button and remove it. And this, I'm doing blue, so I'm going to have to go and change. I will have to, let's go up here, back to right here. I am going to put a stop right here because needle 1 is where I'm going to put my blue thread, and you want it to stop so you can tie that in. And I'm going to go back down to this is my white. The next one's going to be my blue, so that's going to be number 1. Then the white be number 3. The blue again, which is 1. This is the flesh. This is 1. I'm going to have to put a stop in this one so I can tie it out again. It's going to be 1, This is going to be black, which is 4, and I'm going to take off the stop, then white, then red, and it goes back to the front. All right, now I'm going to do a trace on this. I'm going to put my number 1 needle down, and I'm going to move the, you hit OK, whoops, I forget to hit OK just to get everything going. Put my needle down. I'm going to move my machine to the center part. This is as far as it's going to go, that's fine. Then I'm going to do my trace. Hit the trace button, and it's going to trace the outside of the design. Sorry, I wasn't watching the camera. Okay, it looks like that it is going to miss the hoop or anything. I leave my machine on M1 hoop because that is the biggest hoop, and I have no problems doing it like that. Okay, I'm going to set that down. I'm going to push the go button, and it's going to do the first tack down stitch. Oh, I forgot. It'll beep at you if you do not have the tension bar set. And I had it open when I was threading it. I forgot to put it back. But it'll let you know if that's not done. Okay, now hit the start button. First point it's going to sew out is my little dress part. Then I'm going to lay my piece of fabric there and let it sew again. When I do my designs, I always do a double tack down stitch. That way, when you cut out around the fabric, if you happen to clip the stitch, it's not going to fall apart, and it just holds the fabric in place a lot nicer. And it's going to do it again. That finishes, then I'm going to move that and just cut around the fabric. Cut the excess pieces of fabric off. A lot of times I'll just remove the whole entire thing and cut it out, or if I can maneuver my little scissors in here, I just leave it on the hoop, on the machine. There, I've got that cut out. Push it back on there and hit the start button again for the next. second one down. Let's go around it. Oops, it needs to go up a little bit further. There we go. Okay, that one, and you continue doing this until you have all of your pieces laid down and cut out. I'm going to stop the video until I get all these pieces laid down, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Oh, I did want to say, here's a little tip. If I have more than one piece that I have to lay down, I will usually use a glue stick. Go through these a lot. They're not going to hurt anything. It disappears. I have used them for 8 years and I have never had a problem with it hurting the machine or anything, and it just helps hold your applique pieces down while it's sewing around them. If you have 3 different little pieces to do like this, it will just hold it in place. Got a little azaleas with my oil in this morning. And you see the glue stick holds them nicely in place until the tack down stitch is going around. Okay, now it's sewing around my last piece of fabric for my applique. I'll take it off and trim this last piece. Okay. Then I will remove it from my machine. And I'll trim this last piece away. I really like making the videos for y'all, and if there's anything that you can think of that you would like to have a video on, just send me a message or something, and I would be more than happy to make it for you. If you have any questions, I'm always around to answer questions. I love to digitize, so I've been doing a lot of digitizing, and I've had my business for about 9 years now, but I have been doing embroidery for a lot longer than that. I have just started selling my designs, and I've usually just done them for my own for customers and my own personal use, but I thought, well, I've got all these designs, why don't I just start selling them? So that's what I have done, is start selling my designs. And just about all finished with this little Raggedy Ann. Got a lot of curls in her hair. Couple of more little snips here, and I'll be finished cutting this out. Like I said before, I always use Wonder Under on the back of my applique pieces. It just makes it so much nicer. It makes the applique nice, and it holds it in place while you're doing the outline stitch. When you're doing an outline stitch, it has what's called push and pull compensation, so it can pull and push your fabric with it being attached to the fabric, being ironed down. It's not going to do that as much. Now that I've got all the pieces on there, I'm going to take a pressing cloth here, and I'm going to iron those pieces in place. I love this small little iron. It gets right into most of my hoops.